while we're waiting to kick this Thanksgiving special off.
Good morning, guys. This is Carlito here with Carlito and Pied Piper, and here with Chris Croft. We're in the studio. A little special episode of Coffee and Cuts in the morning, and we're going to be talking about our working Thanksgiving dinner. I'm sorry, our working Thanksgiving holiday here. I've just traveled in from Chicago to Pennsylvania to visit the shop here, and first thing on the agenda is we're going to do our little live stream, and I just wanted to share as well to our channel as well. And we'll be kicking off our live stream here in about 1 minute, and we'll post up the video afterwards. But right now we're going to be live in the Chris Croft CNC Facebook page and the Chris Croft CNC YouTube channel, and everything for X-Carve user group.
No,
I'm sorry.
Just the Chris Croft CNC Facebooks and the Croft CNC YouTube.
There we go. So that's where we're going to be, and so in the meantime, we're gonna run this camera as well. Forgive us if we're looking over at this way, because this is where our live stream's happening. But we did want to go ahead and just share it to our channel as well. And oopsie daisy, little technical goof there. But so
that works out better.
That worked out better. Yeah, let's take this, toss this some bitch out the way.
There you go.
So here we go. 9 a.m. Here we go, guys.
All right.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, good morning, good morning!
Oh, yeah. Here we are.
Here we are, guys. We got a special guest in the Doghouse Studios.
Look who just parachuted in from Chicago here.
That's right.
Braved the elements, defied government orders as a essential worker for the record.
Yes. Yeah. Croft CNC essential worker.
Right here. Employee of the month.
Face mask braces. That's what we're.
Yeah, we're doing. Yeah, we're going to be designing and working on COVID related stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But brave the elements, and a Taquachi about 10 miles, which is, for those of you guys that don't know what a Taquachi is, a possum ran out 10 miles out. You didn't see one single animal the entire way here, 9 hours, and a possum scared the shit out of me 10 miles out. So, oh my goodness. I'm here, but I made it.
You don't see that shit in Chicago, do you?
Well, you know what? You see big-ass rats about the size of a Taquachi, but, that's about it. Yeah. It was a nice trip. It was a nice trip in. Thank you very much to Chris and his family for having me, and we're gonna be here.
That's what I'm talking about. It's fantastic to have you here. We got Uncle Carlito from Pied Piper and Carlito YouTube channel. He popped in just to say what's up. He wanted to learn some stuff. We've been setting this up for the better part of a year now, and we finally got to do it.
Yeah.
Let's give some background on kind of how you came into my existence and vice versa.
Yeah, so it was about a year, maybe a little bit more than a year, when I think J-Tech had probably been out with his laser attachment for the X-Carve for about maybe less than a year. It was when he was first kind of in the first stages of that. My partner, the Pied Piper, picked up a J-Tech laser unit for the X-Carve, and we were having just the darndest time just getting it to move. And we're sitting in the shop, and Piper's like, yeah, there's this guy he's been helping me out like this, and I'm like, well, who's this guy? And about 5 minutes later, the phone rings, and it's Chris, and he spent the next 45 minutes getting us set up and running, and we were within 45 minutes. We were burning stuff on the laser.
Yeah.
Didn't know us from Adam, and just took some time out of his day to help us out and get us up and running. And from there, we just started working on other projects, which led into the collaboration of our impact engraver that we finished up for you. That was a ongoing project for you for how long was that?
We did that for 3 years
Yeah.
we were implementing that.
Yeah. And then I came in on the last year of that project, and we were able to get that up and running and bring it to market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a hell of a job on that thing, getting it all 3D printed, because that's what kind of sets it apart from other stuff is we manufacture every part of that
Yeah.
bracket system and everything in-house. Like,
Yeah. Except for the pneumatic pen which we source,
Right.
obviously, but yeah, we were able to produce that entire attachment in-house.
and
Yeah.
you guys taught me, like, I cut
Yeah.
my teeth 3D printing on that.
Yeah, exactly. How many iterations of that bracket did we go through?
Oh my God, it was horrible.
Until it wasn't snapping, and we had to pick out the right material to use for the bracket. We went through 3 or 4 different types of materials before we settled on one that was going to work for us.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, John, just so you know, the mic goes low whenever I move my head around because it's a condenser mic. So,
Yeah, and we'll do our best to talk in the can,
Yeah.
and to kind of keep that up there. So, yeah.
But no, so it was quite interesting to see everything come together.
Because you mainly come from a industrial to a light manufacturing background, right? Didn't have much experience in the 3D printing.
Right.
Yeah, and I think you started out with a hand-me-down little what was the name of that? The little
Printer bot.
The little printer bot, right?
We did a
That
printer
somebody
bot.
had given to you.
Yep.
And then it was about with the onset of COVID, back in February, March, which in Sammy with the Pied Piper and I started the homebrew mask initiative in Chicago to provide masks for people who didn't have them.
Yep.
Because at that time there was no mask to be had anywhere in the country.
Right.
So we started printing 3D masks on our 3D printers and giving them away. And then through that process, we were able to, you came on board, started to provide masks to the first responders here in your area.
Yep.
The Pied Piper, Sammy Koza. So if I go between Pied Piper and Sammy Koza, it's the same guy. And that crazy little Italian guy can network like there's no tomorrow. He set up a fundraising effort, and through his efforts, we were able to raise, I think, $15,000 over the course of like 6 weeks. We were able to expand our capacity to print masks, and at the end of that 6 to 8 weeks, when masks started to become available commercially, we had produced over 6,500 pieces of PPE, and we gave it away for free. We didn't charge anybody not one dime.
Yep.
And the people that were so gracious enough to donate to us to keep that initiative going.
Yep.
And so that's kind of where we started with that.
And that was a big thing. Was we operated in my area. It didn't take off as much as in Chicago.
Yeah.
You guys were hammered. We
Yeah.
didn't necessarily have too much of that, but everybody that came through donated to help make more masks. And that was the thing. Everybody was asking me, like, I need masks. Can I get a mask? And it's like, yeah. And they're like, how much? And I'm like,
Yeah.
donation. Whatever you. I had people donate rolls of PLA so I can print more masks. I had people donate money so I could buy filter material or buy more plastic. Just in general, it was amazing to see the camaraderie of the community coming together to make sure that, oh, I'm getting a mask, let's make sure somebody else can get a mask too.
Yeah, and that really was probably the busiest 8 weeks of our lives. We were contacting 3D printer companies, not only to make machines but also the filament distributors. We were cutting deals with those guys, trying to buy the machines at wholesale, and then getting the filament for wholesale. But then every single penny that we got, we threw back into the project, so that we were able to fulfill the orders. I think, like I said, in Chicago, we got slammed. I had an order of like 150 masks for the Guatemalan consulate.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did a couple hundred masks for Chicago PD for various precincts. And even though some of the major hospitals didn't accept it because of just their own criterias, we did have a lot of frontline workers, nurses, doctors, and technicians approach us and ask us for masks, and we were able to provide that to them. We did masks, we did face shields, we did little ear savers that go behind their other masks, and it was just it was an awesome experience. We collaborated with people all across the country and set up these little back channel networks and to fill that gap, those logistics gaps that the commercial suppliers couldn't fill at that time.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a way for us to help without taking away from the original people doing it.
Exactly.
But as a 3D community, we came together. Like, I have a functioning 3D printed ventilator, and a lot of people were working on that stuff. And it was just like, if we come into a crisis, we're the guys.
Yeah.
We're the guys that are going to make it happen for the community, because the community can't keep up with demand when a pandemic hits like that.
Yeah, because the first things that got cut were those traditional commercial logistics lines. Unfortunately, at that time, we were getting 90% of our stuff from China.
Yeah.
And those lines got cut. So, and there was literally, in Chicago, there was literally no masks available anywhere for about 8 weeks.
Yeah.
You couldn't find them. So, and this was before any of the mask mandates and this and that. And what we came up with was a basic barrier system to help protect people. And we never claimed that it was going to be an N95 equivalent, but it was a basic barrier system that then we used open source files.
Yep.
And we also, the people who came together, some of the guys that had more experience designing, they took the original design, refined it, cleaned up the files. And I remember we went from, at the very beginning, a 4-hour print for one mask, and we got that down to under 35 minutes for a mask, and on a 400 by 400 millimeter build plate, I was printing 5 masks at one time. And I think at the height of it, I had 10 printers by me running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for about 3 weeks. And I was putting out about 150 to 200 masks every 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, I was pumping them out. Boom, 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 boom.
I mean, I still have like 60, 70 masks sitting here.
Exactly. I've got about 200 masks in storage right now. And I still actually have guys that come up and will contact me from time to time and says, hey, can I get a couple of masks here? Can I get a couple of masks there?
Right.
And yeah, I just go and just drop them off. So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's a little bit of background. What we're actually going to do over our working holiday. What do you plan to learn and teach and stuff like that?
Well, like I said, we're going to fine tune your 3D printers. We did a small little tour through the shop this morning. Was excited to see the plasma table. I want to see that running. I've never seen one running in person.
You've never played with a lot of these machines.
No, I have not. It's a great opportunity, and I want to say again, thank you very much for having me, and I'm looking excited for that. We're going to be looking at your super carve.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to be cutting some fabric on that, some gnome fabric for Kim.
Yep.
And then whatever other mischief we're going to get up with, and hopefully pump out a lot of content for the channels here over the next couple days.
That's the main thing I'm excited about, is having people here and being able to physically teach what I know to people, and then be able to share that. Because one of the things I think we forget is, as I become recognized as a professional, I forget what questions I had in the beginning, because you learn so many things, it becomes second nature.
Yeah, it's what I like to call that tribal knowledge.
Right, and we've talked about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like you when you first start, you have it's hard to kind of go through and at the very beginning, because if you know which questions to ask, then you know where and it gives you a direction.
Right.
But coming into this here and never having to use any of these machines before, it's number one, it's intimidating. And number two, it can be frustrating. Some of these machines, they're not cheap.
No.
I think the X car was it $2,000, right? The 1,000 by 1,000.
That's what it started out as.
Yeah.
Mine's now upwards of like $7,000.
Yeah, after all the exactly, after this attachment, that attachment, this attachment. And again, I recently upgraded my X Carve as well. So as you develop in there, yeah, the value and the money that you put into it increases, and it's really frustrating when you've put all this time and effort in there and you're not getting the results that you think you should have.
Right.
Now, and again, that is just because we don't know what questions to ask.
Right.
All we know is like, hey, I push the button and it doesn't work, because I think we have become a very turnkey society.
Yeah.
We don't have schools where we can learn how to do this type of work.
Well, you do. They're just not. They're not for
mainstream.
Everybody.
Yeah, they're not mainstream. I think, right?
Right.
Okay. All right.
Because I came from teaching at one of the tech schools, and what I found was it was difficult because so many teachers wanted to teach, but they had to teach to a mandated curriculum. So they were educating, they weren't teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
They were educating the individuals, and everybody got the same education. And if you didn't learn that way, or you didn't have the questions answered, the teachers kind of had their hands tied and couldn't really step outside of that. And that's frustrating, because you have guys like me that they want to do something, they want to enhance their skills, and it's such a lawsuit,
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, it's all about minimizing liability. Someone comes in as a student, and the old shop teacher that has 4 fingers.
Right.
If a student was to lose a finger during class, you could definitely see how that could go sideways really quick. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of schools did away with their shop classes as well, because I went to school in the late 80s, early 90s. We had a shop class, but then afterwards they kind of phased it out.
Right.
So that was the earliest exposure that I had to light industrial machine, wood lathe, bandsaw, this, chop saw, this and that. And then fast forward 20 years, the cost of the technology comes down that allows us to the average person to get into to CNC.
Right.
And so we're hearing words like G code. X, Y, and Z. I was like, wait a minute here. What is this? And then it's just something like that. It was just crazy.
Yeah. It's amazing how that changes, and how it changes how you look at things too. Mm-hmm. Because as I've grown as a machinist, I find that I look at things and I appreciate the value. Because for me, I look at it and I go, I can make that.
I'm the same way. I'll be walking through somewhere and I'll be like, oh, I like that. I can make it. I can make that.
Right. I can make it, or
Yeah.
I like that, but I want this on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find yourself like, well, do I spend the 20, 40, $50 on this, or do I make one, but it's going to take me 7 hours to model it. It's going to take another 10 hours to print it.
That's the rabbit hole. That is the rabbit hole.
You know.
And that goes for, I think, for 3D printing, routing, laser, any kind of laser work like that. That's the rabbit hole that you get into. But I think that's the journey, and that's the enjoyment that you're getting is at the end of that journey, and you've learned a new skill set. You put a new tool in your toolbox,
Right.
and for me, the satisfaction would be like, dang, I did it.
Yeah, I talk about that a lot. For me, I feel like I'm more of a modern Renaissance man, where I want to learn as much as I can, and I'll fall down these rabbit holes, and I absorb knowledge really good. I'm really good at that, but it can consume my time. Like I find myself winding down at night. I'll sit down, I'll have a cup of coffee or a glass of whiskey or something like that, and I hop on YouTube, and there's a new maker out there doing this new part, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to learn how to do that.
Exactly. I have people. We'll talk to different people and be like, oh, what's the latest thing that you've put out and that you're selling? And I kind of sheepishly kind of smile and be like, well, I haven't really sold much, but have been playing around with this and that, working on these settings. And they're like, well, what about this new content? And it's like I'm so wrapped up in the process of doing it and refining my technique that I'll actually forget to put a camera on it.
Right.
And then I'll call you and be like, hey, man, I did this. And then you were like, what do you say? Did you put a camera on it?
Yep.
I'm like, oh, shit. It's like, oh, okay.
So we've got quite a few comments coming in. Let's address some of these.
Right.
We got John Gallant. He's an X-Carve guy.
Okay.
He's the
Morning, John. How are you?
He's the Razorbacks guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen your stuff. Okay, that's this stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have Copperhead Mike.
All right. Good morning, Copper and Mike.
From Copperhead Metalworks.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. You got
This
Mitzker.
Well, this is Seth. He's a local blacksmith.
Okay. Yeah, and he says that he wants to give us a chance to come down and take us tour of his area too. Maybe we can get some time to go down and check him out.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Carve out some time. And then Tim. This is amazing. Tim is actually down in St. Mary's, Georgia.
Oh, okay. All right.
He works for Budweiser. So
working with them frogs.
Yeah. So Tim, whenever you get back to work, you need to send me out a sample box. So
I wonder if does Budweiser have a tasting room at their at their stuff, because
I don't know.
I remember I took a trip to Denver one time and we went to the Coors factory, and they offer tours for their entire factory.
Right on.
They have two tours. They have the long tour that takes you all the way to the factory, shows you where they do this and do that, and then they have a short tour which goes straight to this tasting room.
And you took the short tour 5 times.
Yeah, we took the short tour. So we get there, we get an armband, and while we're sitting there, you get 3 free drinks with your little armband. And then we had some guy come up and ask us if we want to do a taste test. So we went back and got 3 more drinks, and at the end of it, we got a certificate that says official beer taste tester. So somewhere in my oh, nice. So I'm an official beer taster for Coors. Would love to put on my resume that I'm a taste tester for Budweiser as well. So, and I'm always looking to expand my resume.
Yeah, when it comes to alcohol, you got to expand, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Seth said get a hold of him.
Oh,
so
nice.
We'll definitely set that up.
Oh, excellent.
So Steve.
Okay.
Steve here. Steve, I have never pronounced your last name for fear that I am just going to butcher that thing.
Yeah, Steve, could we get a phonetically translated message real quick? I'm not going to try it, but I'm going to read it. But yeah.
And, so Steve actually has one of the first Fab America tables, the 4x4 pressed sheet metal tables with the Mach 3 control software.
No, I'm not familiar with that machine. What is
Okay.
what is that machine?
So
exactly?
it has yellow base,
Okay.
extrusion sides, and a full.
Oh,
Full-length
that's not too bad. Shaljeski.
Okay.
All right.
Shajeski.
Shajeski.
Okay. It was
Nice,
better
dude.
than it was better than what I thought.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
You have more vowels than consonants, I think.
Yeah. Well, no, more consonants than vowels. Yeah.
But isn't that the old adage? The Italians and Polish and Germans.
That's old school.
Yeah,
that's going old school. Yeah, definitely.
So, but anyways, he has a really good Fab America table. He had some problems with a control box, if I remember correctly.
Now, is that God damn it. Is that a
router?
No, is it a router? Is it a cutter? Is it a metal cutter?
So
what does it
the
do?
base can be modified to be everything, kind of like what I did with the LX Maker and X-Carve frame.
Oh, okay.
where
So it's kind of It's kind of
it
a
comes
universal.
as a router,
All right.
but you can put a plasma head on it. You could put an engraver head on it. You could put a laser head on it.
Okay.
It's a very versatile setup.
Oh, nice.
What a lot of people don't realize with this is
What does it say? I haven't seen a group of people more metal than the last. Is that us? Yeah.
That's us. A lot of these CNC machines come as one machine or another machine or whatever, but all of them are just frames. Like,
yeah.
if you have the parts to put the different head attachments on it, you have multiple machines right there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm known for pushing.
And you know what? I actually have come to, as much as I like a dedicated machine, there is something to be said about a multi-use machine. If you don't have the time to, if you don't have to, not worried about the time constraints.
Hold on. Hold that thought.
Timothy?
Tim Pugh?
Uh-huh.
That's my uncle. Him
Oh,
and
okay.
Tim are both down in St. Mary's, Georgia. So,
Yeah, all right. Happy
like
Thanksgiving, Tim.
we're across the United States.
Oh, yeah.
People pop in and out.
We are definitely national, yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
All right, cool. But yeah, what I was saying is that, I appreciate a dedicated machine, a multi-use machine, the number one, saves time, it saves space, and it, I think you get more bang for your buck. Because you're not having to go out and buy a whole new platform.
Right.
You're just adding attachments to it, and I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed the Impact Engraver project so much, was because it added another level of versatility to the X-Carve.
Right.
It allows us to do stonework, brick, ceramic, tile, marble, granite, something that I wouldn't have been able to do before. And now I'm able to do that. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I completely agree. It's something that people can do in their home area.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say do it in an apartment unless you have a good setup, maybe some tile floor and
Oh, it's
stuff
because
like
it is
that.
messy.
You
Yeah.
know? But you literally can do it in a garage at home.
Well, our friend Ali, from the X-Carve group out of New York, he started about the same time that we did using the X-Carve, and he actually started out in his apartment in New York.
Right.
And went on, and he's gone and he's done some beautiful work. And now I think he found a small space.
Yeah, he's got like it's really cool because in New York everything's stacked on top of each other in New York City.
Mark is like, so what does Mark say?
Mark says
absolutely reduced overhead. Absolutely, yeah.
And Seth says he needs a CNC forge and power hammer.
Power hammer. Man,
yeah,
that
sounds
a little intimidating.
So a power hammer.
Yeah.
Let's address Ali and then we'll address
Okay.
power.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So.
Okay. So Ali's shop is like 8 foot wide,
but
like 20 foot long.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's probably because the building that he's in is so old that was probably an old hallway.
Yeah.
That when they remodeled the building. Yeah. Exactly. That same thing happens in Chicago. You run into these older buildings with these little with these little spaces, and the landlords are maximizing the profit for the building.
Right.
So you get these little cubby holes, but you know what? They're hidden gems.
Yeah.
And for what Ali is doing, he's putting out some phenomenal stuff.
His kind of niche is the Islamic prayer artwork and stuff.
Yes, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful.
He does amazing work. I think down in the comments I'll try and link to some of his pictures if he'll give me permission, because you guys need to see it.
It's some beautiful work. He really does some beautiful work. Yeah.
You know, Steve is actually doing some really good depth carve signs.
Okay.
Just 2D depth carve. Seth does blacksmithing. That to me is always fun.
We're gonna be doing some. We're gonna be burning some, reducing some cans.
Yeah.
And doing some foraging on some of your stuff. So
right.
Going over by Seth is gonna be a good opportunity to see what somebody knows what they're doing. You know, that's gonna be a treat.
So what's really cool is Seth is he took it all the way back to the beginning of kind of like how CNC started, how machining started. Yeah. It didn't start with a guy with a mill. A guy actually had to heat up metal, use a big heavy sledgehammer, and smack it until it got into shape.
Yeah. And
then sit there with a file and file it.
File it on by hand. Yeah. That right there is it's an art form. It really is.
So Seth, KS Ironworks on Facebook, he wants a power hammer. So a power hammer, the easiest, one of the most recognizable names is Yoder. That was a power hammer manufacturer. It's almost like Bondo and plastic filler.
Gotcha. All right. So if somebody said Yoda, it'd be like, it's a power hammer.
Yoder. It's not
Yodel?
Star Wars.
It's not Yodel?
Yeah.
Not Yoda? That's okay.
It's not Yoda, it's not Yodel. We're not over by Steve there. Yodel idiot.
Sorry about that, guys. That's little rabbit holes that we're gonna be jumping in and out of. So
but so a power hammer basically just uses brute force and tonnage to smash the metal into shape. So you get these big...
I see that. Okay, so my total experience of forging consists of watching that show on Netflix. And those guys beating. So that's that
Forged in Fire.
Yeah. That's that hammer that goes pow, 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 pow.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Now, is that hydraulic or is that pneumatic?
So most of them are a hydraulic system. The old Yoders, like the 200-ton Yoders, they actually operated off of a steam, which was really cool. And then they went to a hit and miss engine. And if your concrete slab is not big enough, is not thick enough, whenever they come down and hit,
it would actually crack. It would crack the foundations.
Well, it will eventually, but it starts out vibrating like an earthquake, and it is freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
If you guys haven't experienced it, you got to.
I bet you can just by standing by, you can kind of feel the vibrations coming up through your feet.
Yeah,
and in your balls.
And there's nothing. Man. Wow, I've never thought of that.
That would be like bam.
But there's something so cool about the fact of the hammer just coming down on a molten red block of like iron, steel, you know, mixes, and whenever it hits, it throws off sparks, and like you see this stuff in slow motion, you're like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever.
That's right. Now we're playing with fire.
Yeah.
And let's see what else Seth says. Like, I look at steel like Play-Doh. If it's hot enough and you're creative enough, you can shape it into absolutely anything. No, that's absolutely right. But I think it also takes a little bit of an artistic flair to be able to see the finished product in the raw materials.
Yeah.
And I think that goes for anybody and across all platforms.
Yep.
Is taking the raw material and seeing and pulling that design out from the material.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things where I've kind of
Rabbit holes. That's all I can say. All I can say is rabbit holes.
balls and holes. Wow.
Oh, jeez.
Anyways, the locker room.
I hope
locker room jokes.
sweetheart, if you're watching this, sweetheart, you know, just fast forward that part.
So I think one of the things that kind of I made my mark in the hobby industry is I do stuff with my hobby machines that you guys look at and you're like, how did you do that? And for me, I'm just like, if I break it, I replace it.
That's exactly. I think we were talking about the first night that we did our very first StreamYard live cast, and I can't remember who were we talking to. We were talking to
Ain't Nothing But a G Thing StreamYard.
StreamYard.
Yeah.
And we were talking about not being afraid to break something.
Yeah.
And if you broke something, hey, you know, the cool thing is that the machines are modular enough to you're able to replace parts. But that's also an important factor too when deciding on your machines is to be able to get replacement parts.
Right.
You know, the whole I come from a light manufacturing background. So the concept of OEM, off-the-shelf OEM parts, very important. So you're able to, if you break something or something goes out, because they are consumable. At the end of the day, they're consumables.
Yep.
Are you able to replace that? One of the things that I'm going through right now is a friend of mine, Matt Farmer, and I are working with a company out of China called MakeBlock with their new laser box. Desktop laser system. We had hoped to have some content out on it, and I had hoped to be able to bring it here with me. Unfortunately, we got it from Hong Kong, and everything works except the laser tube doesn't fire. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been working with their support team to troubleshoot and get that machine back up and running, and we think that we've got it narrowed down to a bad laser tube, but that's all part of the business as well. Is you know, when you spend that kind of money, you'd like to have something turnkey, but the fact of the matter is, in this world, sometimes it happens, but the company has been really good about working with us and troubleshooting, even though we're dealing with time differences, but they've been very helpful. To get the troubleshooting and get parts sent out. So we're waiting for those parts. Yeah.
Copperhead Mike says he's got a lot of spare parts there. So Copperhead Mike runs Copperhead Metalworks. Okay. And Mike, if you could drop down where you're at, I think you're in Florida next to Jerome. You're not far from Jerome. Okay. I keep forgetting that.
We're gonna have to get a spreadsheet here.
Get a map.
Start putting little pins in it, and maybe that'd be one of the splash screens on the thing. It says boom, 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 boom right here, you know, right, with a little banner that says Copperhead Metals and this and that, you know. Yeah. And put a little pin in Chicago for us.
Way to make more work for me. Thanks a lot. But anyways, Copperhead Mike made his own plasma table. He actually built his own plasma table.
Oh. Nice. You know, that's something that I have not messed with any kind of plasma, and I'm looking forward to doing that this weekend. Robert McBride. That's Bobby McBride.
Okay. He's in the X-Carve groups. He does amazing flags. But what most people don't realize is he is a consummate craftsman when it comes to woodwork. Okay. I hooked up with him on the Facebook pages, and we talked, and then it turns out his day job, he knows some of the people that I know.
Nice. Small world, man. That is a small world.
And they were telling me, they were like, oh yeah, that guy that I know, he does awesome woodwork, you should talk to him. And it turns out we've already talked to each other.
But Bobby says, we're definitely going to be doing the plan is to do loaded up with content and everything else. So you're going to see everything, the good, the bad.
Yeah, you know,
and the awesome.
You know what we ought to do? We ought to have like a small get together tomorrow or something, and see if if Bobby and Seth and
Yeah,
people
most
could come
definitely.
out.
Yeah, come out. We can just sit and social distancing, of course.
Yeah,
you know, very responsible guys. But yeah, we'd love to meet.
We're going 12 feet apart.
We're 12.
12 feet apart.
Yeah, because I heard that Ronan is getting tough.
Unless you have alcohol, or
Unless you got
have
alcohol, and then you're my new buddy, and I'm gonna sit right next to you. I might even touch your leg.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I get a little frisky.
Wow.
We
okay.
we got the Tito's. Okay, so what else we got here? So sorry you missed most of your show. Oh, no worries. The cool thing is that once it's posted, you can always go back and listen.
Yep.
On my way in last night, when I hit a dead spot, and thanks to my buddy Tiffany, Gary, and my sweetheart, they helped me keep me company. But I was actually listening to the yesterday's cast with you and Kim.
Right.
So don't worry, John. You can always go back and you can replay it. And there's some parts you might want to skip by though. But
talking about balls and
vibrating balls. So yeah, Ridge Manor, Florida. Okay, all right. And then we got who we have here. We got Steve Rita. Happy Thanksgiving.
Steve he's the one that does the flags. He's doing the custom unions and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's something that I have not done yet myself. I do want to make a flag for myself. So guys, do me a favor. Go out and I want to put my. I want you guys to send me a friend request. If you're on my friends list, send me a friend request. So that we can all stay in touch afterwards.
What is give your social medias?
So we have the Pied Piper and Carlito YouTube channel, and then I have the Carlos Salinas, my personal Facebook page. I'm also in the Xcarve users group, CNC for newbies. I mean, all the major groups I'm in, So. And then, but yeah, send me a friend request, and so that we can all stay in touch, man.
So one of the things that's really cool is I'm looking through here.
Well, hold on, I want to go back down here. It says wear mask. I can't wear a mask and drink Tito's. Well, maybe a straw.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cut a hole in the mask, put the straw in it.
What was that one guy at the very beginning of this, and he did like a baby wipe mask, and then he like popped open the lid, and it was like drinking his beer.
Yeah.
And then popped it back down. You know, I may have to go get one of those and like just hook that up. John said you're too close now. It's okay. We're all right.
So, what's really cool is when I go through this list of stuff, these are all people that like I talk to, I stay in contact with over social networking, and I've been able to help like 90% of these guys. I've actually helped them with their machines, and that to me, whenever I look back at this, I'm like, oh wow, this is getting interesting.
That is a legacy that you're building.
Yeah.
I have to be completely 100% honest. If it wasn't for social media, I don't think that I would have ever attempted to get into it. Again, because not knowing anything, not coming from a machinist background, I had no idea.
Right.
Always wanted to learn. And again, also the Pied Piper, Sammy Koza, that's how he and I met. We were actually we were building retro Raspberry Pi retro arcades.
I'm going to be right back. I got to show
Oh, okay, yeah. So we were building retro Pi arcades, and turns out that we happened to be in the same city, maybe about 20 minutes apart, and that's how we got to working together. And we've been working together for about 4 years now. But again, it's social media, being able to build these relationships and learn from guys that know something, and it's been an awesome experience. So, Chris just stepped out real quick. You wanted to grab something, and here he is.
Show him.
So this is one of the things that I built a couple of years ago when we were doing the Raspberry Pi thing. It's a custom 2-player joystick panel that works with the, if you're not familiar with the Raspberry Pi, it's a single board computer about the size of a pack of cigarettes that runs all of the old school video games, everything from Atari, the arcade systems, up to I think even now, even with some of the newer boards, will actually run PS2. So And this is what it is. So then when you're going to open this up here, I've got a, let's see over here. I've got a universal Brooks fighting board on this side right here, and just a regular USB encoder set up with Japanese Sanwa joysticks and buttons. And what the universal fight stick allows me to do is you actually use this not only on my Raspberry Pi, is I can actually connect this to my Xbox One and use it as a joystick controller and play a lot of the old school fighting games, even the new fighting games. I think I was about last year I was playing Marvel versus Capcom Infinity.
That's awesome.
But this right here is for Chris's little girl.
Victoria's gonna love that.
Exactly. I hope she likes it. Again, it was something that I did. I'm a huge Star Wars nut, and that's for Victoria.
We're gonna set this right back here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hop back in here.
Yeah. Let's see. Steve says he's got Raspberry Pi. Exactly. Yeah. Raspberry Pis are not just for video games.
No, and that's
yeah.
actually something we've been
Yeah.
toying with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people are. If you're not aware of the Raspberry Pi, as of the Raspberry Pi 3B or B plus, that was actually has the same computing power as the old Pentium 5s from the 90s.
Really?
So you went from this huge tower thing,
Yeah.
down to a computer the size of a pack of cigarettes. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think the Pi 4 will actually run a slimmed down version of Windows. So it typically, for some of the older versions, we're running Linux, and that's what usually what guys were running on was Linux, and even the Raspberry Pi images were running off of a Linux-based operating system.
So I got this is some of the greatest stuff. So this is Mike, Copperhead Mike.
Okay, Copperhead Mike.
He just sent me a friend's request. I know him from YouTube.
Yeah.
But now we're social networking on Facebook. And Mike, I'm gonna give you something right now just to tell you how much I appreciate your Facebook profile. Somebody better go back and get a shitload of dimes. Blazing Saddles.
Yep. I love that's one of my favorite. You know, they could not make that movie.
No.
Today.
Gene Wilder and
oh God, what is his name?
Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
Mel
Brooks. Yeah.
Came together in so many movies, but that
one right there was,
broke all the barriers.
I loved it. That's one of my favorites. I love it. It makes me giggle every time that I watch it. Let's see what it's saying. Says Chris, you helped me with my motivation. Your chat with our buddy John that one night indirectly lit my own fire just to pursue my passion, and a year later I can barely keep up.
Right on.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, Seth.
Oh, my boy.
Yeah,
my boy is in. So what can you?
So real quick, Seth, I was helping a local smoke group. They smoke cigars, and I'm a cigar connoisseur.
Okay.
Of sorts.
Oh, I love a good cigar and a nice glass of cognac on a nice
you're
cold
lucky
day.
because I already have some for us for tonight while we drink Tito's.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyways, I was talking to them about how to up their membership, how to increase their personal sales and stuff like that, and inadvertently Seth was like sitting there listening to me talk to the two owners, and then he was like, oh, so how do I do this, and this, and just asking questions, and he was just always a sponge for knowledge, and it was great.
John, okay, I think, I'll check my messages on the stream here. I've got my phone running a video as well. I think you said also I'll check my privacy settings, John, and then I'll send. If not, I'll just send you another one. That's awesome. Yeah.
Who knows?
And then let's see the next up here. What? What's up, Sammy? The Pied Piper is in the house. That's my boy Sammy. Yeah, we've been working together for about 3.5, almost 4 years now. Man, where does the time go?
I know, right?
And missing you here in Pennsylvania. You were supposed next time. I'm kidnapping you and throwing you in the back of the car.
Okay, so
all right.
John's taking care of that.
Yeah, everything here.
So like, what's the next rabbit hole we want to get into? Like,
oh, what are we chasing? Oh man. Well,
do you want to design a plasma part?
Why not?
Let's design a plasma
Let's
part.
do
Let's
it.
show these people what we
All
got.
right. All right.
Okay. I'm going to design it.
All right.
You're going to ask questions as I design.
Gotcha.
That way people can see what's going on the
Okay.
screen, and then they can also get commentary from you as to little intricacies that I do that I'm not aware of.
Okay. All right.
Sound
Sounds good. Sounds
okay,
good.
let's do this.
All right. So what are we going to be? What are we going to be doing here? Let's do a. This is like a little stylized taquachi.
Okay.
Okay. For those of you who are not in the know, a taquachi is a Mexican word for possum, which when one came out and jumped out of the middle of nowhere and almost took me out last night about 10 miles out. Scared the living daylights out of me. It was coming in. It was dark. It was raining. I was coasting in on fumes. You do realize that the last gas station when I pull off at 80, it closes down early, and the truck stop only sells diesel.
They typically do not.
Yeah, but they're closed. So it was coming in. It was raining. So we do a taquachi. We'll do the taquachi. There we go.
Okay, let's see.
You know what? Let's
go to images.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready. Let's do. Want to do like an ornament or something, or let's do. Look at that one over there. That's funny. On the Chones.
Yep.
We'll design like a small little ornament, and we'll just like.
No, we're gonna do this one.
That one right there. Okay.
We're gonna do.
Oh, I like that one.
You like that one?
I like this one right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go in. We're gonna save image as.
All right.
Now, we're gonna kick out of that. Now we go into our software settings.
Okay.
And what's my favorite graphic program to make everything black and white? Come on.
It's not GIMP, I know.
No. I use Paint.net.
Paint.net. I mean,
shout out to Jason. He made a great program.
I have yet to use Paint.net.
You don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, exactly. Now this is your go-to now.
This is exactly what I do.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm making something.
Yeah, this is your go-to now, and I've been waiting to get my teeth into this.
Okay, so
let's hold on for 1 second here. We had a couple of guys come in. We got
John says, "Cool, awesome."
Cool, and
you know who this is.
Oh, there's Dre. Good morning, morning, Dre. What's going on, bro? Happy Thanksgiving, man. Yeah.
He carries the king last name, but he's also a king.
Yes, he
he's
is.
a fellow king.
Yes.
So,
yes.
What's really cool is you and I just found out that we share a lineage.
Yes.
You know, that we didn't know that we had.
Yes.
Which was really cool.
Yeah. We are both members of the Masonic fraternity.
Yes.
Yeah. I was raised 1418 Sam B. Crawford in New Caney, Texas. Yeah.
And I got my third degree at 232 Jersey Shore.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and then I went further in it. And
you went to the York Rite. You got your York Rite.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm 32nd degree.
And then you also went the Templar too, didn't you?
Well, that's 32nd.
That's 32nd, right? You went Templars, yeah.
And yeah, so like a lot of people don't realize I'm actually Sir Chris Croft.
Sir Chris.
Sir Croft.
Sir Croft.
So okay, so we gotta.
All right, there we go. The taquachi.
Okay, so this is a very small image.
Mm-hmm.
First thing we got to do is resize
that up. Okay.
This image is less than 3 inches square.
All right.
That's not going to work. resolution is 96 inches.
All right.
That's not going to work.
Okay.
We want to bump that up to a minimum of 150. I like 300. But
Now, let me ask this. What is the difference between resizing this way and using, because typically what I use is Inkscape, and I would take that and I would do a bitmap trace.
Right, so
and go to SVG. I love working with SVGs.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
We're trying to get a better image to start.
There you go. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because you put crap in, you put small pictures in, you're not going to get as good of a trace. That's why that's actually why I get such good traces, is because I redo the resolution on my base file.
Gotcha.
And then I utilize the vector programs to mitigate the deviations, the roundness and
because
peaks.
exactly, whenever you do a bitmap trace in anything here, you're always going to get some kind of deviation because the software is trying to translate something.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So,
because of that,
yeah.
I just find that.
And for those of you guys out there that do work with SVGs and just do straight conversions, you'll notice you'll get rounded edges, you'll get vectors part where they're overlapping, and even, I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen, even this one here, it's a little blurry along the edges and stuff like
real
that.
blurry.
Yeah. So
Tails cut off.
yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So we're gonna have some work to do on this.
Okay.
Okay. But we're gonna make it happen.
All right, let's do
So
it.
we resized it. The next thing we want to do is pick the magic wand, hit shift, and we want to take all the white and we're going to erase it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And we're gonna go in. We're gonna erase everything just like that.
All right.
Okay.
All righty.
Now, at this point, we can save it. But I take it a step further. I hit Control I. That inverts the selection. I then go to the paintbrush, and my paintbrush colors are black and white. So left click is black, right click is white.
Okay.
Okay. I have the possum chosen.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to make this solid black, computer black.
All right.
Okay. And what that does is that allows the software to pick up on the edges much better.
All right.
Okay. So now at this point we can save this, and we have to be careful because our softwares like to use JPEGs. They don't necessarily like PNG.
Exactly. I found that as well, going in from using some of the different machines. I mean, we use Chinese lasers. We use Glowforge. If anybody's familiar with the Glowforge laser machine, I typically do have better results when I'm working with JPEGs.
Right.
Sometimes the PNGs just do not want to work out, or you get really funky. Even Easel doesn't like PNGs.
No.
Yeah.
So now we'll go in and you can actually see the deviations in these.
Yeah, I'm seeing that now.
So we hit save and you can see the deviations in here. Hit Control plus, that'll zoom you in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are really jagged edges along there. A lot of pixelation along the edges.
Right. But we're done with this.
Okay.
Okay. So now, let's see here. He does love SVGs.
yeah, exactly. Back up and show how you got, what does it say? To this Rocky Point Historical. Well, what is that? The Rocky Point Historical Society.
I'm not sure. He might have been typing and something else popped in. I bet you what he's trying to do is he's trying to follow what we're doing for a picture he's trying to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Dre said it's a sprig of acacia. Okay.
What?
Shout out, brother.
Secret societies in the house. The Illuminati's taking over.
Well,
we are controlling your mind.
Yeah. That was yeah.
Typo.
Oh, okay.
See, I told you.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So let's get back in here.
All right, let's get that.
We have our actual part
as a JPEG.
As a JPEG now.
Got it.
And a higher resolution JPEG.
All right.
And that's very important. What do you want to do this on? You want to do this on the plasma?
Yeah, we'll do
Okay.
like a little Taquachi for my thing there. Yeah.
Okay, so I got to bring up my Plasma Cam software. This is a proprietary software.
All right. This is Design Edge.
Yeah, for my plasma machine.
All right.
Okay, and that's very important because a lot of people ask me like, how do you do that and how do you do that? And it's like, well, you know, there are things there.
Mhm.
There are ways that I do it. I wish I could tell you, but that's the way this software works. You have to find a workaround.
And depending on what type of machine it's going to be, you're going to have your own proprietary softwares.
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly. Some
All right.
people have proprietary software. Some people have open softwares. It depends on who made the machine.
Gotcha.
A lot of our stuff is open source type. So we use like vCarve, easel, FreeCAD, stuff like that.
And for those guys, and I know that a lot of guys knock easel. I absolutely love easel. I've only very recently started using Aspire and vCarve, but my go-to for the last 2.5 years has been easel, and I absolutely love it.
And now on the flip side of that, I absolutely despise it.
But I'm coming around to vCarve and I'm loving it. I really am loving it.
That's a great point though. Is you enjoyed easel because that's what you learned on, right?
Yeah.
So as you came up and you learned, that was the workflow for you.
Yeah.
And you were very fast at it because that's how you learned.
Yeah.
Step A through Z was learned in easel. I discovered easel after already learning Mastercam, Fusion.
And I could see what the frustration could be, and just going crazy. I'm like, oh, what is this? Oh my goodness!
Why can't it do this? Like it's not.
And one of the biggest gripes is easel is so inefficient.
Right.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Now that you see how you can control everything, you see how inefficient it can be.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But for something down and dirty really fast, I mean, I'll still use easel. But again, it's another tool in my toolbox.
Right. So what for you says, hey, easel, do this and let's use you. Why?
Again, something quick, down and dirty, something that doesn't take a whole lot of editing.
Right.
Something that just something that doesn't need a whole lot of manipulation and cleanup.
Okay.
So if I'm dealing with just a really easy 2D carve signs, easel, when we got the Pro, we also got the nice font package.
Right.
So if I'm doing just a quick little sign, I can go in there and within 10 minutes be carving.
Right.
But if I'm doing something a little bit more intricate, then yes, I'm going to go into Aspire and do it there. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Design Edge.
Okay.
We're going to import. And we have to make sure that we choose a JPEG.
Look at here. So even Piper knows.
No, he doesn't.
Even Piper says
doesn't.
easel says he's a beast.
We
know Piper.
No.
All right.
You guys. Okay. So we brought in our JPEG.
Yep.
We need to choose a background color. What is our background color?
Right now it's white.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we choose that, and notice we only have 2 to choose from.
Yeah.
The reason being, I already did the layering of white and black, so the software itself does not have to do that.
Okay. Yeah. So it's one less step that it has to think about. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
And it's going to give us a better translation.
All right.
Okay. We want a solid because this is solid.
Yeah.
We don't want just the outline. These right here are max speckle and edge fuzz and everything like that, and edge rounding. Those are all vector settings.
Gotcha.
Okay, vector is what we're trying to get. Okay, so now we can go in. F1 zooms in.
Okay. Now, like I said, yeah, it stopped about halfway up on the ear there.
So we can actually go in and type in a brush diameter kind of how big it is,
Yeah.
or zoom in on it. So we can hit brush, and we can actually zoom in and make that
Clean up
smaller.
the edges. Yeah, clean up the edges a little bit there.
You know,
Yeah.
something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can zoom out, and we can actually just drag this down
Yeah.
like this, and open up that design like so.
Nice.
Okay, now if we zoom in, look at that edge.
Yeah. It's a little rough there, bud.
That's a horrible edge. So we'll just go in and we'll brush it and readjust,
Mm-hmm.
brush again, readjust, brush again.
Smooth it out. Yeah.
And
It really is like using a paintbrush.
yeah,
Just going in there and just smoothing it
painting
out.
happy little trees.
Just trying to have trees. We don't have mistakes. We just have happy little coincidences.
So we can go in and
That was your Bob Ross moment.
that was. If I had hair, I'd have a fro.
Dude, that guy had like the power fro.
He was awesome.
Yeah. I just love the fact that he would like paint these with house
Right.
paint brushes. It's like, man, I can't even paint a house with that, and he's painting happy little trees. I can't even get a happy little house.
Okay.
All right, cool. Now
So-
we have to come back here and we have to like open that up. now.
Do we really have to?
You know what? No, we really don't.
Look at.
Yeah, because as long as we know what the ear is. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so now we come in here, and these are our spec settings.
Yeah.
Okay, our speckle settings.
Our speckles.
Okay, this
Now-
is not good.
No, because now we're actually off the thing. Now, what will happen if we don't fix that?
Well, I'm going to show you.
All right.
So we go to View.
Uh-huh.
We turn off the bitmap.
Oh, yeah, now we got a little.
You got
yeah,
a straight
got
line.
A straight line, yeah. And Taquachi's not. There's nothing straight about Taquachi's.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of those shows.
Yeah.
I think I need a disclaimer
No,
on
you
the
just
front.
never trust a Taquachi.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they're sneaky little bastards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know you guys had all this experience with them out in Chicago.
No, well, not necessarily Chicago, but I did grow up in East Texas.
Oh,
and
okay.
we dealt with the occasional Taquachi coming into the home front.
Gotcha. Okay, so what I did,
Yeah.
notice I'm zooming in and out with my hotkeys.
Okay,
F1,
F1,
F2.
Okay.
Okay, and then F3.
Well, just snaps right into where we need to be.
Right.
All right.
I can actually draw F3, box it, and go from there.
Oh,
and
nice.
I get that from this right here. This is a mouse pad that my buddy Rob Johnson made. That are all the hotkeys for this.
Oh, that is awesome.
And I'm
That
going
is awesome.
to.
Look at that, guys. This is really awesome. Yeah.
So I'm thinking about making one of those for VCarve,
Oh yeah.
and I'm thinking about making one for a CNC workflow for the way that I do stuff.
Oh, that would be cool.
Right.
That's absolutely really cool, man.
Because I put that graphic out
Yeah.
of my workflow,
Yeah.
and I think that would be cool on here just to help people see.
Okay.
All right, so we zoomed in.
Yeah.
And what I did was I used K, and that's a breakpoint. That just breaks a vector at a certain point.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I broke it right where.
Right where it was the straight line started.
Yep.
Yeah.
And same here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we have end and beginning node points, just like in VCarve.
And now
Right.
we gotta close those out.
We got to close them out. So what I'm going to do is use Z, which is my arc tool in this program,
Mm-hmm.
N for node, and it's going to strike it right there at the node.
We'll bring that down, and then we'll bend
And
it
then
over.
I'm going to hit node again, and it's going to pick that node. And now we can get a bulbous tail, we can get a inverted tail, maybe it got bit off, whatever.
All right.
Or we can go through and just play with this arc,
Yeah, and there we go.
just like that.
That's right, Mark. We got a happy little possum.
Happy little possums. Okay, so now we have a vector filling that area.
Now we close it. Now we got to close it out.
Now we got to close it out. In
Okay.
VCarve, you can hit that checkbox and it automatically closes it out for you.
Mm-hmm. Bam.
It turned purple.
And it tells it, and that's now when it turns purple like that. What is that? What is that telling us?
That tells us that it's a closed vector.
Ah.
Now look at that arc.
That's clean. Yeah.
And we can go in and clean this up as much as we want. But I have a feeling that Carlito is not happy with just Taquachi, right?
It's a little simple.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to hit W.
Yeah.
We're going to make a text box.
All right.
We're then going to zoom in. We're going to offset this text box by 0.15 because plasma cutting, you need about 1/8 of an inch material.
Is
there.
that for the so that the plasma can come in and cut and it's not
going to burn out the metal.
burning out the metal? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So I'm going to use O 1.15.
Okay.
And I'm going to hit enter. Okay. And I'm going to hit control. And by doing that, that offsets by keeping the original vector. If I didn't hit control, it would move that original vector down to here and erase it.
Huh. Okay. I don't quite follow, but all right. All right.
We'll do it again.
All right.
Okay. Page down.
Page
We're
down.
going to hit O.
O.
0.15.
And that's our offset.
Yep.
Okay. So we're not blowing out.
Enter.
Uh-huh.
Without hitting control. But we don't want that.
We don't want that.
Right? So, all right.
All right. Cool.
0.15, enter, hit control.
And then this is
now
where our text,
preserves.
and then right there is where our text is going to go in there.
Right.
And
so now we're going to control. In VCarve, you have to hit shift.
Yes.
Okay? In this, you have to hit control.
All right.
We're going to hit M for move. We're going to pick a point, and we're going to move this.
All right.
And we're going to do something like that.
All right.
Okay? Now, we need to weld this all together.
Mm-hmm.
So I can pick that, and I can pick that, and I can hit Control B.
Oh, and it's all welded.
And it welds it all together for me.
Oh, that is cool.
So it's
so now and again, one of the things that's so popular these days in the laser cutting groups, like the Glow Force stuff, are the little, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank here. The what are they? The little circle.
The monograms.
The monograms, exactly.
Yeah,
We've created a Taquachi monogram.
Yeah,
folks, this is the world's first a Taquachi monogram.
So now my typical monogram, a nice wall hanging monogram is about 15 inches by 15 inches.
Okay.
And the reason being, a man door starts typically at 30 inches and goes up to 36 inches.
Now, is there a difference between a man door and a non-man door?
Yeah, non-man door would be your garage door.
Okay. All right.
Okay. We're gonna hit W.
W.
And that's our rectangle tool or our square tool.
All right.
And we're gonna hit 0, 0 for our start point.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to make it 15 inches by 15 inches.
All right.
And now we have our square.
Oh wow!
So you can see how small our setup was.
We're a little bitty, yeah. I see that.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So now we're going to select just that square. We're going to hit N, so we pick the node point in the corner.
Mm-hmm. And now we're scaling up. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to scale to there.
All right.
We're then going to hit S for scale, N for this corner, and we're going to scale it down.
Down a bit, okay.
So that we fall into a 15 inch by 15 inch square.
Nice.
Now that's 15 inches wide.
Yep. Okay. Cool. All
So
right.
now we'll go to draw. We'll hit
text.
It's got to load all my text on there. I have a ton of fonts.
Nice.
Okay. So now we're going to hit
Carlito.
And we're going to go with I love Bell MT.
Okay. All right.
That's like my go to.
All right.
Okay, so now here's a little secret that I do. I take my offset box, I do a copy, then I know that I want to offset it by about a 1/16 of an inch. So I go offset.
You know what?
0.06.
Can we make one change? Instead of saying Carlito, I want to surprise my daughter, Julissa.
Okay.
Why don't we do it? Make that put in there Julie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's offset this box real quick.
Yeah,
We're gonna be 0, or we're gonna hit O.
Yeah.
0.06. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Enter.
Yeah.
And without hitting control, I'm gonna expand that box out.
Spin that out. Okay. All right.
Now we're going to go in here. How do you want to spell it?
Julie. Just Julie.
Okay.
Yeah. Julie.
Now I'm just gonna put it in there. I don't care the size. I'm gonna hit Control V, which is fit the path.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay. Cool.
Now it automatically fits it. I'm gonna hit M,
and then bring that down.
and I'm gonna bring it down here. And what that does is allows me my
Now we can
overlap.
weld it, and then we can weld it.
Right.
So, and then if we wanted to, we could actually cut this out that way. Yeah.
We can go through. So you can weld it like we welded before, or you can hit X, and that's our trim tool.
Oh, okay. All right.
And we can trim how we want all of it to look.
Yeah. Now, on some of the smaller stuff here, like I said, on that back on that E, what do we know was too small is too small?
So
because that is a major an issue if there's.
Yeah, I can set that in this software.
Okay.
As to what I have my hole settings to ignore, the size of the hole settings. I can actually ignore certain sizes.
Okay.
So I have mine set at a 1/16 of an inch.
Okay.
Anything lower than that, it blows out to that size.
Gotcha.
So
okay. All right.
We ignore it. This may get ignored where we have to go in and kind of modify it.
Yeah.
And we'll take care of that. That's part of what we have to do.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm just going through and I'm trimming it by hand for the specific fact of I want to see
what it looks like.
What it looks like, what I want to keep, what I want to get rid of.
Oh yeah. That looks a little rough there, bud. Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay. So those holes right there I'm not sure about. But we're going to see if they pop. So
Gotcha.
to write my CAM program, my machine program, all I have to do is hit N.
Okay, to write the G code.
Yeah.
Okay.
And select.
Yeah.
And it writes right there's my cut program.
Okay.
It does it all for me.
Wow. That's a nice piece of software.
Yeah. Now I had to go into my settings and set all of this, and I have all of these different settings for different sizes.
Materials.
Yep.
Yeah. And let's say you've got it set up for 1/8 inch aluminum, 20 gauge fine cut, 375 mid steel. So, okay. All right.
So the way that I do it is I put the material and classification. So material size 20 gauge SS fine cut. That means that it's 20 gauge stainless steel fine cut consumables, and I know I'm using the fine cut tips. So if I'm using the fine cut tips, I'm typically at like 40 amps or between 40 and 45 amps, but I have that written down.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
On this one, I'm 22 gauge stainless, 40 amps.
Oh, you've already got your 65 amps. Okay, now I'm seeing that right now. Now, what about the 1-inch steel 65 ASLO?
Okay.
That's a little bit different from your other settings.
That's 1-inch thick steel at 65 amps with a slow cut.
Was that no? Yeah, okay. 65 1-inch steel. Oh, I see. Yeah, 65 amps. Slow. That's not ASLO. It's slow. Hello.
So,
all right, that makes a lot more sense.
Okay, so
I was like, who the hell's ASLO?
That actually will give us a pretty nice cut there.
Okay.
Okay.
Even what did this do here?
This is our start point.
Oh, okay.
That's our start point, and this is our end point.
Right.
Yep.
Okey-dokey, okay.
And then we can actually go in and clean this up even more
All right.
by trimming that out.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And we have control over this whole thing. So I can hit intersections.
Mm-hmm. Clean
We
up the
go in.
intersections.
Oh, guess what? We just trimmed that up, but we didn't join it,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, everything's
Yeah.
selected. We go in. That's just an overrun. It's actually the torch is going to come all the way in here and then go right back out of it. We don't need that.
We don't need that, right? It's just inefficient. Join that. Okay. All right. All right. So, and this is all about creating efficient toolpaths.
Yep.
Okay.
That's all we're doing.
All right.
And you don't have to go this far into it if you don't want to.
But it's good practice.
Yeah.
It is just good practice, all around good practice. And if you do it the same way over, you're just going to makes it that much repetition. I know for me, learning something new, it's all about repetition and practice.
Right.
Repetition.
And we just cleaned up this whole file.
Uh-huh.
Probably didn't knock much time off that one.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to look here. To me, it seems like. Oh, sorry about that.
Hold on one second. Let's see. There we go.
Okay, there we go. To me, it seems like you don't really see her name very well. Now, can we adjust that, or? To me, it's just weird. Maybe because I'm looking at it.
You don't see.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
These are the cuts. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the cuts. So if we hit F10.
Oh, there it says that. That looks okay there, and then I can.
That's what you're going to actually get. The purple is your metal.
And then now I can see where it says Julie.
Right.
Yeah, she loves possums, by the way.
Oh, okay.
She's always running around talking about Taquachi this and Taquachi that.
There you go.
That is awesome. She's gonna love this.
So we're actually going to save this.
Okay, and we're gonna cut that later.
And we're gonna cut it later. And you're gonna be able to go live and show her.
Nice.
Her piece being cut.
Nice.
And be like, Daddy loves you. I've learned a new skill. I'm a master machinist.
Daddy loves you. Daddy loves you, and stay out of my drumsticks.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, you call them drumsticks too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little ice cream cones.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they're drumsticks. They're
Right.
drumstick brand.
That's the brand.
Who doesn't call them drumsticks?
I call them Nutty Buddies.
Well, Nutty Buddy's an actual brand, though.
Right.
Yeah.
But everybody bitches at me. But when I was young, my dad would buy Nutty
Buddies, yeah.
And
It all depends on where you're buying them, yeah.
Everybody around here, see, I grew up down in the South.
Yeah.
And that's what they
we
were.
have Nutty Buddies and drumsticks.
Right.
Yeah.
But everybody around here is like, no, Nutty Buddies are the peanut butter bars. And I'm like, no.
No, Nutty Buddy
ice
is
cream.
a big ice cream. The Nutty Buddies tend to be the bigger ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. See, that's for you guys. That's another rabbit hole. You
There
didn't
you
even
go.
know you were going to get this.
Exactly. That's right. It's
Okay.
nothing but rabbits.
We're going to call that Julie.
Julie, okay, cool.
And we're going to save. And now I already have a plasma cut set up. And so what I'm going to do is actually bring that in to the come on now. All right, there we go.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
I think the stream just crashed.
Oh no.
Yep. I think that's what's happening.
Uh-oh.
I think we used up.
Well, we're at almost an hour and a half.
Yeah. I think we used up our stream.
Our stream, okay.
I think that's what happened.
Okay. Well,
Either that or the computer's freaking out
because of all the
because of me just hitting buttons and everything.
It's been a good stream though.
Yeah. All right, guys. I guess inadvertently we're gonna have to call that.
We're gonna call it. Yep. And,
Basically, all that was left was to
send it to the actual machine to
Yep.
get it ready for cutting.
Yep.
So we'll pick it up when we actually cut it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right.
Sounds good, bro.
All right. We're
All
gonna
right.
end it. Peace, guys.
Peace out, guys. Thanks.